bum 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 bum.
Good morning, Jonathan.
Good morning, Father Jeff.
It's like a holiday today.
Star Wars Day, holiday. It should be a national holiday.
It should.
At least a diocesan holiday.
It should at least. It's definitely a personal holiday, that's for sure. I am. So first of all, there may be some people out there who really have no idea what Star Wars Day is. This might not. It'd be like, I don't understand what's going on. Was this the day that I don't get? Star Wars Day. The line in Star Wars. May the Force be with you.
And with your spirit.
Or something like that.
Oh, wait.
And today, of course, is May the 4th. May the 4th be with you. Yay! Star Wars Day. So it is like a little bit of a holiday today.
You were going to take the day off.
I was going to take the day off, and it's like, no, I've got to be here. We've got to do this. I know we're probably throwing everyone's schedule off by appearing a half an hour early. We told you it was coming, that we were switching our schedule. We're trying to slide into something a little more normal.
Right.
As we start to embrace a regular schedule again.
Right. So
we need to move up. We need to move this up a half
right.
hour.
It turns out putting a morning show right in the middle of the morning is kind of disruptive to the whole morning.
It destroys the whole morning. And when you've got other things when you didn't have much to do, it was kind of the thing that you did. But now we've got a few things to do after this. So we need to bump it up a little more, and maybe it will make your morning brighter as well.
Right.
Especially on this gray, rainy day.
Oh my gosh.
I was kind of surprised to see it raining today.
I was, and I've checked the weather, and it said it was going to rain all day.
I didn't check the weather, so this was news to me. Yeah.
I had a productive weekend, though.
What'd you do?
I don't remember what I did Saturday.
You don't remember what I did.
But
it was so
Sunday,
productive.
Saturday I mowed the lawn.
Okay.
So got the yard looking nice, especially. It's good now with all this rain coming in.
Absolutely.
And then yesterday we cleaned out our garage, which has been a long time coming.
That seems like that's a common theme. I saw a number of garages opened and driveways littered with all the stuff.
We had a shelf from Costco that was sitting in a box for the last few months.
Years?
Not years, but maybe, I don't know if we got it before Christmas, but it's been a while.
Okay.
And when it's cold, you can't organize and do things because it's cold and maybe snowy or whatever. And so cleaned out the garage, put some stuff on the shelves. It looks like a whole new place.
Is it all organized?
It's pretty much organized. We got a couple areas left. The back corner has some stuff that we might need to throw out. And then I swept it, so there's not all the rocks and stuff that we did.
Yeah. The messiness after the winter. But the big question is, Jonathan, have you taken down your Christmas decorations?
Which ones? You saw those when you came over?
Yes.
Oh, the ones in the house? Yes. Those it's been several. We got them out sometime during Lent.
Sometime during Lent, the Christmas decorations finally went away. They observe a much longer season there in the Sanchez Hidalgo house.
You weren't supposed to recognize those. And we do still have Christmas lights on the front of our house. They don't turn them on.
Hopefully you don't turn them on.
We don't turn them on.
Okay.
But they're still there. One, because we don't have a ladder. So I can't.
How'd you get them up there?
We borrowed a ladder.
Oh.
So.
Well, if you don't know to get Jonathan and Genevieve for their anniversary, how about a ladder?
May 2nd.
Really?
June 2nd.
June 2nd?
It wasn't 2 days ago.
June 2nd. That's coming up.
It is coming up. Oh my gosh. This is a rough time of year for me. It's a great time of year for me.
It's a rough time of year for me.
We got Mother's Day, Genevieve's birthday on May 22nd.
Oh my.
And then our anniversary on June 2nd. And so...
See, my parents they planned things out very well. We had basically one feast a month. So Mom's birthday was in March. My brother's is in April. Their anniversary was May. My birthday was June. Dad's birthday was July.
Perfect.
It was perfect. You only had one thing a month to worry about. I mean, Mother's Day, Father's Day come in there as well.
But that's...
You know. Yeah. And it was all away from Christmas, so Christmas still had its time. So good job planning. I don't know if that was intentional or what, but it worked out well growing up.
Very good.
Yeah, so you cleaned everything out. You enjoyed the beautiful weather.
Oh my gosh.
It was very nice.
Saturday wasn't as nice, but Saturday it was surprisingly cool on Saturday.
It was. It was cooler than I thought it was going to be.
Because we planned to spend some time outside, and nope.
Nope.
But yesterday we had the kids running in the sprinklers. It was good. It was just a good day. I have really appreciated the time that we can spend with family and not having anything else to do. So whether it's, we don't have anything else to do. And so we have to be creative. We went to the safari park again yesterday.
Right.
And so we're having some issues with our teleprompter.
Our teleprompters are doing their thing
But
today.
yeah, no, it's just been really great to be able to intentionally be and having to come up with intentional things to do with the kids, because my kids do not sit still very well. They'll bounce off the walls, and the easy thing would be to just put them in front of the TV all day, and we do screen time probably more than we should. Sounds about right.
Just sit in front of the screen all day.
But instead, we do still have the screen time, but then we also try to get them active, and so they don't drive us nuts.
Nice. Well, that was good. Good weekend. I had a pretty good weekend too. Kind of the last quiet weekend. Now we're trying to slowly move things into first and second gear and take things little by little. That requires a lot of planning and a lot of pre-thought and figuring all this out. So we will be very busy today.
No mass today.
There is no mass at noon today. We're going back to our normal schedule of noon mass being offered Tuesday through Friday at noon. And the weekend schedule with the live streaming not at 10 o'clock, but at the 9 o'clock mass. So you can follow us along for live streamed mass at 9 o'clock. And confessions now are going to be offered not Saturday afternoon, because I don't want a bunch of things up together. So confessions will be offered Thursday evenings at 5:30 to 6:30, I believe.
I think that's right.
I'm still getting
Check the website. We did update it.
Used to my own schedule. Yeah, maybe. It might be there. It might not be
and
there.
And noon daily mass will still be live streamed whenever we have it.
Yes. Tuesday through Friday, it will still be live streamed. So we're going to still live stream our daily masses. We're still going to live stream the morning show. We're still going to live stream a Sunday mass. And then, every once in a while, there might be a thing that's out there.
Right.
But we'll let you know.
And depending on how long all of this goes, if we might have to start being creative on Bible studies or other things, and there already are some Bible studies going on.
Right.
Right. But we might have to expand that.
Especially, if this goes into the fall at all.
Right.
When we normally kind of pick up all of that stuff, then we want to be ready to figure out ways to do that.
And so we haven't gone deep into planning those types of things, but it's in the back of our minds. So
right. You kind of got to deal with the present first. So much going on.
Oh.
So much going on.
Disturbances in the Force.
A disturbance in the Force. Speaking of the Force, and speaking of Star Wars Day again, I want to share a story that...
oh my gosh, this was so good.
Sarah Finneran's little boy, Charlie. Sarah is our youth minister, and her son, Charlie, loves Star Wars, though he's never seen a single movie.
Never seen a movie.
His parents have neglected one of their duties as Christian parents, and that is to
Hey, look who just joined!
Sarah, we're talking about you. We are, neglecting your Christian duty as a parent to raise your child in the faith, and you have not exposed him quite as fully to Star Wars as one could. So think about that. But anyway, I'd like to read you the story that he wrote for me. This is Star Wars. In a galaxy far, far away, on planet Ice, Kylo Ren is causing trouble. He is hitting things all over the place with his lightsaber. After so much destruction, Yoda feels he must intervene. Kylo Ren does not like that. Yoda and Kylo Ren engage in a lightsaber fight. Kylo takes the first swing, but Yoda blocks the blow. Then Yoda advances on the right. leaving his left side exposed. Kylo Ren sees his opportunity and hits Yoda with his lightsaber on his left side. Yoda is injured. Thinking he had won, Kylo Ren leaves. Da-da-da. After Kylo Ren left, Rey comes to heal Yoda. As Rey begins to heal Yoda, Darth Vader arrives and begins to battle with Rey. Just when Rey thought she had him on the ropes, Darth Vader knocks her down. Bum bum bum. Rey is on the ground with no one to help her since Yoda is still injured. Kylo Ren is watching this whole scene unfold from around the corner. He begins to giggle because he thinks evil has won. But Rey thinks fast and kicks Darth Vader's feet from under him. Rey knows she has to get Yoda back to the ship so she can heal him. Rey grabs Yoda and puts him on her back. Then they run for the ship. But before they get too far, Darth Vader calls for the stormtroopers. Yoda can see the ship in the distance, but knows that the stormtroopers are gaining on them. Make it we will, Yoda thought. Just as the stormtroopers are within shooting distance, the two get back to the spaceship and slam the door shut. Rey heals Yoda, and the two take a deep breath, knowing that they are safe inside the spaceship. Or are they?
Bum, bum, bum.
To be continued. Wow. Charlie, that was awesome. How old is Charlie?
He is 4, I believe.
He's a little one. He's a youngling.
He is, yeah, he's very young.
He's a youngling, as they say in Star Wars lingo. That was awesome, Charlie. Thanks so much for that story.
It had me on the edge of my seat.
I loved it. I loved the drawings. I loved that reminds me, that's what I used to do as a kid. I used to draw all kinds of I had my superheroes and the Smurfs and just my own characters
Action
that I
figures.
made up and video games and all of those things. I don't know what you're talking about. I still have my Star Wars action figures. They're in my mom's basement. One of these days I should probably claim them. Mom and Dad, just keep holding on to them. Don't throw them away.
Oh, he's 5.
He's
he just
5.
turned 5. That's right.
That's right. Happy birthday,
Oh
Charlie.
my gosh.
Whenever that was.
It wasn't just. It was.
It wasn't recently. It was, yeah, you know. But time. It's fluid. Who knows what's going on?
I thought we were running really late because it's 45, but our show started at 30 instead of 12. So, at 00. I don't know. What do you call it? Just 12. At 10, 9. It started at...
The show started at
9:30 instead of 10.
It is now 9:46. Jonathan was worried because it was in the third quarter of the hour, and normally we're done by that time, but we have until the top of the hour, so let's keep at it.
Hi.
It's a Monday.
Morning is broken.
Morning is broken. Oh my gosh. So I had a good question that came to me from one of our viewers. So many people wrestle with what do we do with family members, friends who have fallen away from their practice of the faith. And this I thought was a good question, especially this last weekend we celebrated Good Shepherd Sunday.
Right.
And the Good Shepherd, Jesus talks about gathering the flock and how he is the gate and he is the one that opens and closes and gathers the people into his Father's household. And so I don't know that there's a single family, I don't know if there's an individual out there who doesn't know someone who has fallen away from the practice of the faith, who stopped practicing the faith, who's left the faith for some other religious expression, etc., etc.
Right. I think that's something that is
universally
everyone.
Experienced.
Yep.
Yeah, it's universally experienced. And I think it hits Catholics perhaps more than any other Christian expression. In terms of that, from the Catholic perspective, we understand that the church was established by Jesus Christ.
Right.
And that the church is necessary for salvation. and to knowingly walk away from what is necessary for salvation, that bothers us. That's a great, that does bother us.
That is the greatest disturbance in the force.
It is a great disturbance in the force, exactly.
Really.
Whereas many other Protestant religions are kind of built upon this idea and this notion of whatever works for you-ism. That if this doesn't work, well, then try this. Or if that works for you, then try that. And so the church is no longer necessary. It's more of the personal experience of whatever. And that's, in fact, how Protestant denominations were born.
But
walking
if that's the
away
case,
from the
then
church.
we would have never needed Jesus.
Exactly. That if the church wasn't necessary, then Jesus wasn't necessary, then salvation wasn't necessary. It's just a slippery slope right back to the beginning.
Big problem.
A big problem. So it does plague us, and I would say that especially when I talk to older Catholics or people will come into confession, and one of the things that they will ask me about or they'll want to talk to me about or that bothers them so much is, Father, my grandkids are getting married in some crazy ceremony out in the woods, or my children don't practice, their kids aren't even baptized, what do I do? It hurts. It is a pain. It is a deep pain within them. What do you do? You can't force anyone to the faith. That is one of the fundamental freedoms as human beings that we have, and that is freedom for religion. That God desires the free choice, not that we are compelled in any way, shape, or form, but rather we choose to be in relationship with Him, and we choose our own salvation. So you can't force, coerce, make, That's why I think many times arguments don't work. If you try to what do I say that's going to change everything? What do I say that's going to bring them back to the faith?
If there was something you could say that would bring people back to the faith, everyone would be saying it, and everyone would be converted.
Everyone would be back in the church, in the pews, and that's not the case. So it really is just an example of living your faith joyfully and being ready to answer the question, why faith is so important to me, and why the church is so important to me, and to be able to iterate that just to get those wheels turning, and to be able to respond to people's questions. Do I know my faith well enough to be able to answer the question?
Right. Why
does the church ask us to do this, that, or the other thing? Do I have an answer? Or do I just kind of keep hoping nobody will ever ask me? That's the... And especially, I think we can be forgiven the first time it happens. Someone asks you a question, and you're put on guard, and you don't know how to answer it, and so you fumble around and whatever. That's okay. That's forgivable. That's happened to me more times, especially as a priest, than I would care to think of, that I just don't know how to respond the first time something happens. Mm-hmm. But after that, I need to now take that moment, that experience, and prepare myself for the next time. Am I going to be ready the next time this happens?
Right. So if someone asks you, why do you believe that bread turns into Jesus?
Right.
And you're like, you know what? I know we believe that it turns into Jesus, but I'm not sure why.
Why? Because it's just always what I've been taught.
And so that's when you find a friend that you might know. Ask your friends.
You have to do a little study.
Maybe write an email to Father Jeff. Don't email him all your questions,
Don't inundate me with all your questions.
The reach out to friends first, the internet, and then
helpful.
Find out. Because it is a huge part of our faith. If we didn't have the Eucharist, I wouldn't be here. But
yeah. We need that.
And so, since it is so vital, it's really important to know why.
So figure that out. Take it to prayer. Pray with it. And the one bit of advice that I give most people is, rather than creating some argument, or rather than getting in people's face about it, or keep nagging, a lot of people, we fall into that nagging. We think we're inviting, but we're really nagging. Mm-hmm. And, we keep slipping things at people. You should be, or, I'm going to invite you to come here. Okay, they get the idea. They know, and so then it becomes nagging, and then we closing the doors, because I don't want to be poked at constantly and continually. So I would say there are two things that I like to recommend: prayer and penance. Prayers are great. Don't get me wrong. But if you really, really, really want to bring conversion to someone, if you really, really want to change someone's heart, then you have to do what Jesus did. And he was broken on the cross. And so when we take on a penance specifically for someone's conversion, or specifically for someone to come back to the faith, that act of penance is greater, I think, than all of the prayers that we could do. Whenever we join ourselves to the cross of Jesus Christ, the power of salvation flows here in this space, right here, right now,
Right.
with this intention.
It's easy to pray for someone.
It's easy to pray, and we should do that.
And we should.
We should do that.
But to say, you know what? I am not going to eat dinner on Thursdays.
I'm going to fast.
I'm going to fast. Do something, you know,
I'm
where
gonna
you
give
do
up.
make a sacrifice of
Or
some sort.
my arthritis bothers me on a day like this. Rather than complain about, not me personally, but you know, you might be saying this, that my arthritis bothers me on this rainy day. And so rather than sitting there and complaining about it and moping about how bad I feel about myself, offer that suffering, that pain, every time you feel that and are rubbing your knuckles or whatever. You just offer that for each one of your grandkids. You offer it up for that spouse that isn't practicing. You offer it up for someone who's just lost sight of the faith somewhere along the way. Offer those prayers, unite them with Jesus, so that the world can be converted heart by heart by heart.
And that's so much more powerful than
That's
just
so much
a
more
prayer.
powerful. So much more powerful. The rosary also is a great, great tool.
Mm-hmm.
It is a weapon, and it is the power of Scripture and prayer and uniting that. For some people, it's a penance, you know. So you might want to offer that rosary and pray and bring in all of that intention.
Mary's such a great intercessor, and we don't use her enough.
True.
I think it was what's the image of her with rays coming out of her fingers?
Our Lady of Grace.
I don't know. It's on the miraculous medal, maybe.
A miraculous medal is Our Lady of Grace.
Okay. So I saw something on that one time, and someone asked her, so someone that has the visions or whatever, a mystic, said, why do you not have rays of light pouring out from all of your fingers? And she said, it's because those are the graces flowing out from me, but the ones that don't have rays coming out is the ones because not enough people ask me for things.
I've never heard this story.
Yeah.
I'm going to assume you're not making it up.
I'm not making it up.
All right.
I'll
I'll have to look at that image of Our Lady of Grace and see what, I'll have to look at that. We'll come back to that tomorrow and bring you the full story.
Yes.
Yeah, for the rest of the story.
The other thing, like you said, is just living your faith.
Living your faith joyfully.
If you are truly living your faith joyfully, you're going to have to say, actually, I can't meet up because I'm going to a holy hour. And so, you will be not necessarily inviting, because when you invite, they think the only reason you're talking to them is so you can invite them to do your thing.
Right.
But if you're like, oh, actually, I'm going to go pray because that's what I do, eventually, if that interest is piqued in them, they're going to say, oh, why do you go pray so much? What does that do for you?
Right.
And that opens the opportunity where they're opening the door.
Yeah.
And so...
Yeah, these are the things that we prayer, fasting, almsgiving. These three things are the key, and they're ancient, they're scriptural. Jesus highlights them. Prayer, fasting, almsgiving. That when we unite our prayer to our fasting, to our open and active charity, then great things happen. We are living the very heart of Jesus Christ, and we're living the very heart of God.
And those aren't just for Lent.
And it's not just for Lent. Those should be your daily exercises. I mean, those are spiritual exercises. We need to do that.
And
those are awesome.
Lent is an opportunity for those to get ramped up a little bit.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Puts the focus on them. We had a question about the prayer to St. Michael, the Archangel. Why don't we do that during the live stream? We pray this prayer to St. Michael every day after daily Mass here in church. We were doing the prayer to St. Michael after every live streaming Mass up until the end of April. During May, the month in honor of Our Lady, we have switched and we are offering the Easter hymn in honor of Our Lady, the Regina Caeli, the Queen of Heaven, and we are singing that as our post-Mass prayer invoking the radiant power of Our Lady, Queen of Heaven and Earth.
Awesome.
Yeah. What else? A couple more things before we close, because we're coming to the top of our hour.
Do you want... So, we did have a sign-up genius that went out today.
So, there's a little bit of confusion on that sign-up genius. So, at St. Charles, we are prepared to begin welcoming folks back to Masses.
Our parishioners.
Yes. We want to start with those folks who are here, because space obviously is limited. So, to our parishioners, an email went out this morning with a link to a sign-up genius where you can reserve which Mass you are going to attend coming up the weekend of the 9th, 10th. The 5 p.m. vigil, the 9 or the 11 a.m. or the 5 p.m. on Sunday. When you sign up, keep in mind that you are signing up for a pew, not for a number of people. So when you click on the sign up and it automatically asks you for a quantity, leave that at 1 because you are asking for 1 pew. You are not saying, oh, we've got 6 people coming, because what that's going to do is it's going to eat up 6 pews out of the sign up genius.
We have 80 locations for households. So
we
it's
have
either
80
pews or
households
rows
can
of
be
chairs.
welcomed. Yes.
And so if you sign up for 6, you are taking up 6 of 80.
Correct.
And I don't know of any families that have that many people.
Correct. Yeah, not having that many. So, again, if you're just joining us now, remember, we started at 9:30 today, so you're going to have to go back and watch from the beginning, catch it when it goes, when we're finished with the live stream. And we will be at 9:30 now from here on out.
From here on out, 9:30 new time.
Correct, 9:30 a.m. to 10 o'clock a.m. on the weekdays. So in case you missed that, set your alarm, write it on your refrigerator, do whatever you have to be with us. Excellent. We'll talk more tomorrow about kind of, again, some of the Mass prep stuff that we need to get in line, especially if you're coming back to Mass here at St. Charles. Hopefully you are paying attention to what your own parishes and pastors are sending out to you as they begin their preparations as well. Depending on where you live, the county that you live in, the state that you live in even, things may be completely different. And so we've just got to be careful. We've got to be responsible. And again, I cannot say this enough. If you should not be out because of age, because of you're with older people, or if you have very young people who are tough to control or like to put their hands on everything and their tongues on everything, if you've been sick or around people who are sick or any of those things, this is not the time to be venturing out.
You still have full dispensation, so you don't have to worry about it. Please continue to maintain staying in your home, separating from other people. This is just a slow opening up of the doors that those who can be out might take advantage of that, but not everybody should. So please be careful. I'm not going to be Big Brother. I'm not going to tell you what you need to do. As adults and as Christian men and women endowed with freedom of spirit, we are capable of making those choices on our own. So please utilize that will and that and good judgment. All right, Jonathan, that's it. We got a lot to work to do. So we're signing off. Have a happy Star Wars Day, and may the 4th be with you.